Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Scarred Thumb Podcast. I'm David. Today we'll be talking about the crossover. It's happened for a long, long time, and we're starting off with the one I can remember the furthest back. It probably isn't in totality, but this is, as far as my memory goes, one of the first crossovers. You're like, what the heck? It was fun, but at the same time, I think it marked a trend that ultimately killed Soul Calibur. So we have Link here, fun to play. Then we have, it's even more ridiculous, Master Yoda was the guy that showed up on the Xbox edition, because they had 3 editions. You had Nintendo, which would have Link, and then another edition would have Spawn. I think this was the Xbox, had Master Yoda in one of its cases. Look at this cover. I think this is a real cover. I didn't take the time to research it properly, but I believe this is a cover. It doesn't seem like something someone would fake, but this is a legit cover. This is how you advertise your game. Ivy, the one of the main female faces of the franchise, going against Yoda. Yoda, the Star Wars character. That's just how you cultivate your brand with Soul Calibur. And they also had stuff like 2B, which is the Snoop Dogg of video games, just showing up in just every possible thing. I mean, of course, it's easy to see why. Is a very lovely woman. People, very crowd favorite, having great assets. But there's other games that have done this, that have decided to just destroy any semblance of consistency or aesthetics in their brand. Notably, we have Modern Warfare, which has guest operators like Nicki Minaj. Who doesn't want to play Nicki Minaj while they're playing video games? So it's just rather than serious operators, like a war game, a serious war game, you have Nicki Minaj. You have Alucard. It's on the thumbnail here, just from an anime, Hellsing. Just say, why not? Why not have this guy? I mean, he looks kind of creepy, kind of cool in a way. I don't know what it has to do with military operations, but he's here. Why not have Homelander too? I mean, The Boys is popular. It's a good IP. I guess this is it sort of does 2 things at once. You can advertise, both people's brands and IPs in one go. Well, hey, The Boys, that's a popular IP. Let's advertise The Boys and stir up some publicity and interest in our own IP at the same time. And really the absolute worst example is when you decide to put in freaking YouTubers or streamers as operators in your game, because that's what really everybody wants to see. They want to see Tim the Tatman. That at least this looks like a real person. I guess it is a real person, but this actually looks like someone that might be an operator, like an actual military guy, versus say, I guess, Homelander. But what the heck? Excuse me. Well, when you see an actual recognizable person that you know from streaming, what does that do to the seriousness of the world? Hey, good morning, Deborah. But of course, Call of Duty had given up the idea of actually having a kind of cool, consistent aesthetic when they decided to put Pride camo weapons in the game. So you have these ugly ass looking weapons, and you could have your Pride camo skids, which is always really important to have in your video game. That's about serious people killing each other on the field of combat. Who knows if this is going to hurt them in the long run? I don't think they care. And that is, I guess, one of the overarching things with a lot of these crossovers is it's like tailor-made for the modern video game company, because it really doesn't care about the long run. It's really about like boosting quarterly sales, getting a quick spike in revenue. Popular were like, hey, let's combine Overwatch and Cowboy Bebop together with some skins. That'd be cool. Why not? People like Cowboy Bebop or Godzilla in your Magic the Gathering. I'm like, look, I love Godzilla. It's cool. I think I might have some Godzilla Magic the Gathering cards. So I'm not immune to the crossover. It's very alluring when it's an IP, two IPs that you like together. You're like, ooh, double the fun, right? You have Smite and Magic the Gathering together, a card game and a video game. Crazy. I just smush them together, but this is what they do now. They get, little boosts. You could advertise each other's IPs. They try to get different audiences. I guess the hope is, Magic the Gathering has, an audience of, nerdy guys. Smite they also have an audience of nerdy guys that play a lot of video games. Why not try and get each other's, audience to get some crossover here? It's targeted advertising that is really, I suppose, in a way, smart, because if that's the demographic you want, I think they share very much a similar audience. It's like younger guys with maybe disposable income and a free time. They could help each other out. 1 second. So, but unfortunately, I too have been affected by this terrible curse. This is from Monster Hunter. Screenshot on my phone. Imagine this. I'm in a park. I want to have fun. Oh yeah, walking around, enjoying nature. All of a sudden, as I'm playing my Monster Hunter now in the park, who shows up but Mr. Beast's ugly face in my video game? I'm trying to fight, mythical monsters. These dragons, these gigantic triceratop-looking guys called Diabloses. And here he is with that annoying-ass smile. Just there. Hey, guys, it's me, Mr. Beast. I have to put up with this. Like, how much does it remove the fantasy of the Monster Hunter game? Of course, it is set in the real world, but still, I don't want to see Mr. Beast. It doesn't make me feel good. I'm not like, cool, it's Mr. Beast. I'm like, ugh, it's Mr. Beast. Of course, I love it goes without saying, the timing of this is fantastic, right? As Mr. Beast's trans buddy is facing a lot of accusations. And, is Mr. Beast going to be pulled into that? It's hard to see, but yeah, Mr. Beast. Great timing by Monster Hunter now. But yeah, here you go, Mr. Beast. He's here in your video game, the guy that you wanted to see. Mr. Beast. Of course, let's mention that there are, I think, franchises that do kind of immune to the curse of crossovers. In fact, they're just built around crossovers. Different Eye just jamming every IP it can together. And of course, probably the people that really made this thing a reality, that brought this curse into gaming and the nerd spaces, Fortnite, one of the main perpetrators here. But this Fortnite never really had an established aesthetic. It was always just, as far as I know, I haven't actually played Fortnite, so could be talking out of my ass. But it was Joey. Is Joey really the flagship here that everyone wanted to see? I know they've always done crossovers, or they've been doing crossovers for so long that no one really associates it with the actual Fortnite brand anymore, the actual Fortnite characters. It's just, oh, hey, look, it's Peter Griffin. Oh, look, it's Naruto. So I could have Peter Griffin fight Naruto, fight the guy from the employee from the company, Lethal Company here. Why not? It just whatever fever dream you want to is here. And there's also, of course, a great example from Nintendo Super Smash Brothers, which Ultimate especially combined a bunch of different IPs, but at the same time, it doesn't really feel as bad because Smash Brothers was always like, hey, let's just take all of our different franchises from Nintendo and combine them together. So the idea of adding something like, Ryu into the mix, which, was a Nintendo, a game on Nintendo, or let's say, let me try and find a different outside IP. You've got, where's Sonic at? Oh, there's Mega Man. Yeah, Mega Man here, hanging out. Obviously, got to start on a Nintendo console, so no one really cares too much. Where's Sonic? There's Sonic. The old rival of Nintendo. We're complaining about crossovers, Baron. Get with it. Get with the program here. Sonic here was a character. Bayonetta, stuff that it started out as just Nintendo's exclusive IPs, and they kind of branched out. You have Solid Snake. Doesn't really fit the Nintendo look, but still a very popular addition. So something like Smash Brothers, which was already just a collection of different characters from different games, adding other characters from other games just didn't seem that far of a stretch, and I don't think it really hurts the brand. At least it's still video games. Like Cloud, again, kind of weird considering I don't think Final Fantasy has ever been on a Nintendo system. Maybe that has changed since then, but of course, that was one of PlayStation's, flagship titles in the sort of PlayStation versus Nintendo versus, I guess that's when Xbox first got in. I don't think, do they have any Xbox character? I don't think so. I don't think they really got any, well, I guess unless you consider Minecraft. I don't know where Steve is hiding in this, but can you spot Steve, guys? Maybe he isn't in this yet. Maybe I got an older picture, but Steve, I guess, is kind of a Microsoft brand now, though it really didn't start as that, so I don't think everyone really thinks of it as a Microsoft IP. But the other really popular example that I think, well, I don't know if it's popular, it might be a little bit niche, but when I think of this is Mugen, where you can, have Goku fight, Son Goku US version 1.3 fight Impure Evil Donald. We can have Goku fight Ronald McDonald. And that was a game that's, I think, actually has a sort of serious release. Some sort of Chinese company is trying to make Mugen a thing. But it's always like a fan game. Like, let's just make the most insane stuff we can and have them thrown together. But to sort of bring this to modern day, this was a reveal that happened at EVO. Let me show you. That was Lucy, is now from Cyberpunk Edgerunners, which was an anime, not a video game. So they decided to add Lucy into the game. Guilty Gear Strive, which left people like, what the hell? It was like so far out of left field. People are kind of shocked because, one, it's, not a video game. I mean, Cyberpunk Edgerunners is a video game. And I guess Lucy might have been in the actual game now that I think about it. But really known for Edgerunners. Cyberpunk. I actually didn't look that up. Cyberpunk 76. I don't know. I'm not sure on that, but the idea of having a character from an anime, and this is like her anime version in a video game, just kind of I don't know, rub people the wrong way. It just seems weird. Like, why have this as a guest character? Why not have an actual like other fighting game character in it? And there's another kind of reminded people the example of, say, this was. Let me bring this up here. This picture. Tekken 7 famously decided to put Negan from The Walking Dead into their video game. Like, what? How are these worlds even remotely related? I have no idea. No idea at all, but yet here they are. Negan. I've never watched Walking Dead. I haven't played Tekken 7, but just another like just crazy example of them just bringing IPs that have nothing to do with each other. Oh, Lucy was only alluded to Rebecca shotguns in the game. Okay. So, not apparently like they might be some way tangentially in the world in some ways, but yeah, not in the actual game itself. So, why put it in? And I do have to wonder what long-term impact this has on franchises, because it does help get an initial boost to sales. Does these crossovers can bring in other audiences into it and give them like a little like hit, a little jump. But at the end of the day, is it going to be something that hurts their brand in the long term? As people see, like, as hardcore fans, see this stuff more and more, whether it's, Mr. Beast showing up in your video game or having, Homelander show up in your video game. Does it turn off, fans that really enjoy the world and like it? I guess it can really depend on just how big of a deal they become. If it's not something that's just overall, like sometimes they'll have guest characters in video games, and like they'll run like gacha games seem to do it a lot. Or you'll have a collab event, but excuse me, but in like two weeks it's gone, or like a week it's gone. And you'll never see it again. So it doesn't make a huge deal, but when like skins like this just constantly in the game and you constantly see it, at what point just the world lose its own aesthetic, and you're left with just like crazy skins like this that are just constantly in every game you see. And maybe it's not, maybe that's not a problem for a lot of players. But I do feel like in the end, you're losing what made your world. And if that doesn't stay strong, like, then eventually people just lose interest in it. Like something like Smash Brothers, their IP is always super strong. I don't think it'll ever be a problem. For Nintendo, they can have like guest characters, and their characters themselves remain recognizable and iconic. But you have to wonder for like brands that are lesser known or not quite as popular, is that something that's going to be a problem in the overall scheme of things? Like I mentioned, Soul Calibur, I believe, is dead as far as the franchise is concerned. Let's see, Soul Calibur releases. I believe the last one was 7. Soul Calibur 6, the 7th installment. That was back in 2018, so it hasn't come back since October of 2018. So let's see, what's the math on that too? It's been over 6 years. Well, not quite 6 years. So that series is kind of fallen off. It's just constant guest characters. It's almost kind of became a thing for Soul Calibur to do. What did Kingdom Hearts actually have guest characters? What did they have? and their stuff. Kingdom Hearts. Guest character. Oh, what they have? I mean, Kingdom Hearts has always been a mashup of Disney IPs. So it's not a. Again, that's kind of a world where, yeah, they have their own sort of like Sora and Riku, you know, those sort of characters, which are kind of, you know, Square Enix, in the same vein as Square Enix, but they also have the Nintendo or Disney IP, which is, you know, super iconic. I mean, that was made from the ground up. That's always been part of their DNA, which, I mean, to the point I was making, like something like Fortnite or Super Smash Brothers, when it's actually made like that, I think it works well. But when it's not, when like you have a game like Call of Duty, which is supposed to be a serious shooter, and you have like streamers and anime characters in it, that I don't see what's going on, and I have to assume that this is super popular with like a 13-year-old boy demographic, or like 13-year-old like kids think this is super awesome, or maybe like 25-year-old men too, like, oh damn, it's Alucard, it's Tim the Tatman, it's Homelander, whoa, that's awesome. And that's, you know, they think like, hey, kids love this, they love it. Hey, they love Fortnite, right? Fortnite's got Naruto and Peter Griffin in it. Why not cash in on that too? We got to be part of it, and that's what they do. Let's move on from crossovers. So I'm hoping crossovers go away, because I'm kind of sick of seeing IPs just throw in other IPs willy nilly in really obtrusive ways.